It's been a long time coming, but Hal Jordan is back, and he needs to defeat Sinestro once and for all. Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you while wielding a Green Lantern ring. All alterations to the panel text and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by respective companies. While this is a fresh start for the Green Lantern Space Saga, it does tie back into a lot of events that have happened in the past. I'll be linking the Giant Saga playlist down below. As we move through, I'll try to let you know what you may have been missing out on. On the planet Joeen, an alien race is panicking because they are being followed by the one man left in the Green Lantern Corps to protect the universe, Hal Jordan, and he just smashed through the crates that were in front of him. They open fire on him and he deflects the shots back with his will-powered-based shield while grabbing the leader, demanding to know, where's the Green Lantern Corps? Meanwhile, in Space Sector 0, the center of the universe, where the Green Lantern Corps once stood, Warworld is waiting. The Green Lantern's home planet of Oa went missing along with the entire Corps. You can find out more about that in the two videos, Green Lantern Corps Lost Army and Green Lantern Corps Edge of Oblivion. It was Sinestro that saw an opportunity and moved the Sinestro Corps' planet of Warworld to the center of the universe. He used everything that he had to do this, and he made the Sinestro Corps the protectors of the universe, using their militaristic nature to rule over every planet. He convinced his daughter Soranik to abandon her green ring and join him, and then with her as leader, she used the Yellow Lanterns as a proper force, someone that the universe could trust. But now, it is time for the universe to tremble again, for them to fear Sinestro's Corps and his name. So he does the only thing that can return his power, and he releases the parallax entity of fear, the very embodiment of fear. Then Sinestro bursts above his Corps, proudly showing his new power, to Soranik's disgust. He tells his Corps that he is back. They have taken the universe from the Green Lanterns finally. Now go forth and become the enforced that the universe requires. Soranik knows that this is bad. Everything that she built in her father's weakness is about to crumble. Back with Hal Jordan, he begins to feel the effects of fear, fueling everything again. Concentrated fear. A Yellow Lantern then arrives in front of him, shocked to see Hal Jordan, because the Green Lanterns vanished. The Sinestro Corps has thousands of members now. Hal Jordan is the only one. What can he possibly do? It's probably a good thing that on the edge of the cosmos there's a green flash, and the Green Lantern Corps warps back into the proper universe and time period. You see, they've been lost at the edge of oblivion, and now they return home. The Green Lantern Corps was cast out, thrown out of the galaxy to a time before this galaxy to become the Lost Army. But their journey is only beginning, as now there are only 399 out of the 7,200 Green Lanterns that originally stood. And the rings are bugging out, unable to find replacements for the deceased. With their numbers running low, John Stewart doesn't know what to do or if the universe is even safe, so he decides to send out a single Green Lantern to recon. And he can only think of one Green Lantern stupid enough to go alone, Gardner. Meanwhile, back with Hal, the Yellow Lantern tells him to surrender, and Hal responds, throwing him back and informing him, I don't know the meaning of surrender. Back on Warworld, Soranik demands to know why her father used her if he knew the parallax entity could revive him. And he explains, I know what I can do and what I cannot. I could never convince the universe that the Sinestro Corps had changed their actions towards one of benevolence. But one who had dedicated her life to saving others could. A doctor such as yourself, Soranik. As Soranik is accepting what happened, Sinestro gets a message that one of his soldiers has encountered a Green Lantern, and that Green Lantern's name? Hal Jordan. Both Sinestro and Soranik are in shock. Hal is back? Back with Hal himself, he has the Yellow Lantern on the ground, demanding to know where the Green Lanterns are. Fearful for his life, the Yellow Lantern Corps explains that the Green Lanterns ran, even Mogo. Green Lanterns don't run. Then explain where they are. No one has stopped us. No one has prevented our advancement. At that moment, a yellow creature of fear swallows up Hal Jordan while Sinestro is yelling for his troops to pull back. Do not engage Hal Jordan. That's when they see why, as he destroys the fear creature and comes back to fight another day. So the two Yellow Lanterns, filled with the fear that drives them, launch off into space, and Hal Jordan gives chase. He follows them to a planet where the people are fearful of the Green Lanterns, and then behind him he sees a rather large number of Yellow Lanterns here to save the planet from him. He turns to the Yellow Corps and he tells them to free the prisoners. They have him, why continue this? And the leader tells him that they are here to cull the strongest for the fear engine. What's the fear engine? Come with us. Sinestro wants to show you, Jordan. No problem. But free the captives. They aren't a part of this. You don't make the laws anymore, Green Lantern. The Sinestro Corps makes the laws now. Hal strikes the ground, forcing the willpower through the cracks. I'll take that as a no then. Big surprise, and with that he raises his fist into the air, hitting all of the Yellow Corps members with construct hammers. He then tells the freed prisoners to run, and he continues to slam the Sinestro Corps around, easily dodging their attacks, mocking them, asking if they even train anymore. Eventually he grabs the leader and he holds him in a big green fist, but he informs him that the Sinestro Corps is powered by fear, and the universe is afraid of them. Hal sees his ring growing in power, and he knocks Hal away. Then, as he's trying to save a child in the crossfire, he takes another hit to the head. The Sinestro Corps rounds up the child, and Hal leaps forward. Come get me! I won't let you take the kid! But as he's reaching for the child, the Sinestro Corps is using a giant octopus to grab and hold Hal. He keeps reaching for the child, but it's too much as their power levels are growing larger and larger from the terror on the planet. He continually gets crushed until it's just too much for him and he falls to the ground defeated. Back on Warworld, the Sinestro Corps arrives with a prisoner that they found, Guy Gardner, another Green Lantern. And Sinestro realizes very quickly that this is bad. First Hal Jordan and now Guy Gardner. Guy smiles at him. Slap a fresh coat of paint on the welcome wagon, Cindy. We're back! And Sinestro crushes him into the ground with a giant fear fist. Meanwhile, back with Hal Jordan, he is now a prisoner of a Yellow Lantern who is doing some odd surgeries to him with his ring removed. Back on Warworld, the Yellow Lanterns arrive with their prisoners, the fuel for the fear engine, and Sinestro demands to know where Hal Jordan is if they won. The leader then tells him that it was Soranik, and she arrived and took him with her, telling them that it was Sinestro's will. Furious, Sinestro tears the Yellow Lantern in half, not because he failed to get Hal Jordan, but because Sinestro will not see children be captured for this. He then sends Crib back to the planet to return the child while he asks himself, Soranik, what did you do? Guy Gardner, meanwhile, finds himself a prisoner of the Yellow Lantern Corps, and with the last of his ring's power, he throws a truck at Sinestro, who laughs it off, and then Guy's ring reaches 0. His uniform begins to fade as Sinestro explains that he was only allowed to keep that much of his charge so that he could make it to the Warworld. And then he shows Guy the fear engine. He turns around to face Guy, only to find him naked. Completely naked, like no underwear naked. He rubs his eyes asking how Guy was ever even accepted into the Corps' ranks. And Guy retorts, don't even try to tell me that your underwear isn't all bunched up underneath that uniform. Besides, if you're just gonna spout out your butt, I might as well show you mine. I make no idle threats. Those who are subjected to the engine will feel as though they are living their darkest fears, most acute terrors. The fear energy extracted from them will power my core to levels never before obtained. The supremacy of my law. Order through fear will be absolute. Now tell me where to find the rest of the Green Lantern Corps, or you can tell Administrator Lash after he's performed some of his more arcane and physical ceremonies. For once, in your pitiful existence, Gardner, spare yourself. First, my gear. Sinestro hands him his bag. Guy reaches in, pulling out a 6-pack, and he chugs down a beer and then crushes the can on his head. If you're looking to make a man crack, ain't no nut tougher than me. Back on Mogo, John knows that Guy's 24 hours are up, and he's decided to take the entire Corps to go find his friend. While Guy gets tortured, Soranik waits for Hal Jordan to recover from his surgery. He gets up in shock that one of the Green Lanterns that he was searching for is now in yellow colors, and he asks the bigger question. Why did the Sinestro Corps give me up to you? She explains that it was because she was their leader. She gives Hal the full explanation that she was there when the Green Lanterns went missing and at her father's deathbed. Then using her, Sinestro convinced the universe that the Yellow Corps was good, and once everyone accepted them, Sinestro took back the leadership. And now, he has the Parallax entity inside of him, and he's created something called the Fear Engine to power up new Yellow Lanterns. But when Hal doesn't get up ready to fight right away, Soranik is confused, and Hal explains what happened to him when the Corps went missing. He went through a lot, but now he is seemingly becoming willpower, the pure embodiment of it. But none of this matters. If the Green Lanterns are truly missing, then Hal knows he has to stop Sinestro. So he tells Soranik to get any of the good Yellow Lanterns and prepare to get them off of the Warworld. Hal's going to blow the planet to hell. While this is going on, John Stewart brings the rest of the Green Lantern Corps to find Guy Gardner and receives word that Guy was captured by the new police force, the Yellow Corps. Hal Jordan wastes no time flying right in. It's time for him to wipe out Sinestro. It's time to end this conflict. While this is going on, Guy Gardner continues to take one heck of a beating spitting out his own blood, because no one is going to get any information out of Guy Gardner. Hal continues blowing up the sky over Warworld, calling out to Sinestro that no matter how many of his troops he throws at Hal, he'll throw them back down. Even with the fear engine in full swing and Sinestro's core reaching 200% power, they are no match for Hal Jordan at his pure willpower levels. He continues to wreck and destroy the core in front of him, and then as they try to recover from the hits, he stands heroically over them. That's just me warming up. Here's one chance to save yourselves. Go! Let your boss lose this fight against me, which is all he needed, as Sinestro hovers overhead. Leave us, all of you. I will deal with Hal Jordan. Arkillo gets to his feet, begging Sinestro to let him finish off Hal Jordan, but Sinestro tells him, leave right now. Hal Jordan looks at him. You don't learn, Sinestro. We fight, and you never win. No. Here I am, your greatest adversary, more powerful than ever before. With fear's yellow light, I have brought order to the universe at last. All is under my control. I have already won. And here I am, in your house with my boots kicked up on your table. What are you gonna do about it? The two titans begin to charge up their power. Green willpower for Hal, and yellow fear for Sinestro. Show you true fear after it is done. After you have fed the fear engine and made my Sinestro Corps burn brighter than the pedestrian Green Lanterns ever could. Then, you will see no other alternative but to join me. Yeah, because that'll happen. We're both far too hard-headed to change. Your head is filled with stone, and they charge at each other, while mine is filled with conviction. Their powers both hit outright, and the planet hears a massive FAKOOM! Hal Jordan is thrown to the ground as Sinestro hovers over him. Remember our beginning, Jordan, when you were a novice and I was your partner. Your teacher. I am your superior still. Yet rather than trust me, trust in fear, you see me as an enemy. When did you cease looking up to me? As Hal picks himself back up, he replies, when you started looking down on everyone else, me, the Corps, the Guardians, if the right way doesn't work, I try to make it better. Be better. You went wrong. He then retaliates with a blast of willpower. Meanwhile, down below, the torture of Guy Gardner turns up a notch, and he responds by citing the oath. In the brightest day, in the blackest night, no evil shall escape their sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware their power. Green Lantern's light! And that's when Soranik arrives to rescue him. Seeing that the Green Lanterns are back, a spark of hope is given to Soranik. Up on top, Sinestro repeatedly beats Hal down. The power of Parallax is too much. Sinestro informs him, I don't want to kill you. I want you to join me. But if you keep this up, you will force my hand, Hal. But back with Guy and Soranik, Guy runs over, freeing all of the other prisoners in the fear engine, killing off Sinestro's power source. And back up top, his ring informs him that the fear reserves are depleting. Sinestro quickly begins to realize that it's his daughter, as he sees her leaving with Guy Gardner and a few of the good Yellow Lanterns. Hal then gets up, slamming Sinestro down. Your dreams of universal grandeur just left the launch pad. Rescue is Soranik's mission. I'm here for resolution. Sector 0 will shine green one last time. Run and you can survive, but your days of staking claim on the center of the universe are done. Your choice. There is no choice. There is only what I must do. The strength of willpower begins to surge through Hal Jordan. That makes two of us. Might want to close your eyes. The power grows immensely, and there's a crack as willpower begins to flow through Hal. Sinestro sees the green and simply questions it. Jordan? The full power of willpower begins to consume Hal as he begins to transform into a construct. I knew that this was my final flight. No safe landing, no punching bag. Blazo glory time, wrecking everything that you did. Here's to a better universe. And Hal Jordan explodes with so much willpower that the entire planet is destroyed with Sinestro and Hal Jordan on it. And that is it. Hal gave everything. Meanwhile, the surviving good Yellow Lanterns fly through space. John sees the yellow light coming his way and he tells the Green Lanterns to get ready. But it's Guy Gardner being carried by the Yellow Lanterns that tells John, chill out, these are the good guys. And that concludes the first story arc, Sinestro's Will, and it's one heck of a way to kick off the Hal Jordan Green Lantern Corps story arcs. Now, this is a comic book. We can probably assume Hal Jordan won't be dead for very long. But either way, we have the rest of the Corps to focus on and have a good time with. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I hope you enjoyed the return of Green Lanterns to the channel. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Comicstorian, and I'll see you next time right here.